People First podcast is a show presented by people with learning difficulties for our friends and community. We talk about issues that are important to us and interview interested people to find out new information. This is our way to make a difference and have our voices heard.
Hello and welcome to People First Culture. Today we're very happy to welcome Jerry to the show. Jerry has been self-advocate for 30 years. We are excited to talk to and learn more about him. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
You set up the first People First in England. Why did you decide to do this?
I set up the first People First in London and Thames, not the first one just in England. I decided to do this because I used to live in London. I knew there was a group of people with learning disabilities in this area and their supporters. I learned quite a lot from my time in the United States, and I wanted to do something similar in this country.
Why is self-advocating so important?
Right. It's important to enable people to speak up for themselves and bring people together. Self-advocacy is about speaking up for yourself and deciding what is it that you want to do now and in the future. Understanding your strengths and weaknesses and developing personal goals. It takes time to become confident.
You travelled to America in 1984 to the big People First conference. How was that, and what did you learn?
It was quite political. There were people speaking from different states and talking about all kinds of issues. The main issue at that time was getting people out of long-term institutions. We believe we also said we be inclusive. In Canada and America, their groups are led by people with learning disabilities, and we are working to promote that in England. I learned to have a lot of self-determination, like when I had to write over 400 letters by hand to get the message out to people.
You co-founded Learning Ability England. How helped this group make a difference to the life of people with learning ability?
The important thing was getting people to work together, which was very difficult in the beginning, but now has become the usual way to do things. Our Good Lives framework shares many messages directly from our members, such as that people with learning disabilities should be paid for the work they do and the knowledge they bring. We said we want real jobs with real wages. This connects into housing and other day-to-day needs and helps improve lives and self-worth. Chapter 5 of the Good Lives framework is focused on self-advocacy and reflects what LDE's self-advocacy members have told us. They want to be part of the decision-making process. They want the right training and they want to have a voice, be listened to and be heard.
What types of support has been most helpful to you, and how do you think support for people with disabilities still improve?
Our supporters help us with all the activities that we need to do to make our voices heard and our issues taken into consideration. That might be in writing speeches, organizing travel, or help and support at conference venues and events. A lot of people were doing this for the first time when self-advocacy came to England, and this type of support helped them to build confidence. Now, a lot of more self-advocates go to conferences by themselves without support. Self-advocates still need training on how to be a good self-advocate and to become a good leaders so that they can lead their own organization and become as independent as possible. They should be trained in an ambassador role. The aim would be to lead a financial and organizational independent organization, a true grassroots organization which is self-reliant. Self-advocates need personal effectiveness training to build assertiveness, self-esteem, and confidence.
Why is support such an important thing for people with learning ability?
So person-centered support is based on each person's individual needs, done with mapping and personal-centered planning, making sure that there is a clear plan in place to support each other, each different individual. This plan needs to be regularly updated. It is so important for people with learning disabilities because it helps us to achieve our best and be part of the community, help us to get a job, to get about. It helps us achieve our dreams and aspirations.
What are the biggest changes of life for people with learning disabilities since you started working as a church?
The biggest change is that there is a lot more knowledge. I can now use the computer, tools like spreadsheets and word processing, which wasn't available when we started out. People are much more aware of civil rights and human rights and in improving the lives of others, of all people with a learning disability. There has been a great building of networks. I've built mine up over the past 30 years, meeting lots of people, building connections. That is the great benefit of LDE's membership network. We work together to help each other and use each other's strengths. Collaborating gives us a lot more opportunity to achieve our to achieve more our lives and all people with life disabilities. And we are collaborating gives us a lot more opportunity to achieve our best and be part of a big organization covering the whole of England.
You have made many speeches in important places. Why is important for people with learning ability to use the voices?
It is important to share our opinions and have them heard, to be listened to, so that people take notice of our needs. The Good Lives Framework is all there, written down in easy read and in depth, so that people in power can see what we want and need. What LDE's members have said, this will help us to be part of society and contribute in every way that we can, living our good lives.
What advice do you give to anyone with learning disabilities to want to become self-taught?
I would say go to the university or college and learn as much as you can by learning all the different ways of communicating, whether it is music, art, speech, and also go and learn about becoming a leader. Take your time and don't rush. We want to get as many young people started up so that they can make a difference for the next generation of self-advocates.
What are your plans for the future?
We are working on and building on the Good Lives framework together with our members. There are areas such as transport and health which still need to be improved for people with learning disabilities. For example, it is hard for people with a learning disability living in rural areas to get about because there are no regular bus links. We also are also preparing for next year's LD conference, where we all share our members' most recent experiences and what the current issues are.
That's all we have time for on the show today. We'd like to say a big thank you to Carrie again for coming on the show and answering our question today. It's been really interesting to learn about your life and self and for cutting. Is there anything else you would like to say before we end the show?
I'm hoping that in the future that my ambition will be to present a television program for like a chat show, a bit like Question Time for people with learning disabilities. We used to have loads of disabled programs on television years ago, but it doesn't seem to happen as much now. But that's what I would like to get back on.
But
Shall I say what I was going to say first? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I met Gary at the LDN event recently where he spoke about being a self-advocate, and it was really, really good. It was at the LDN event celebrating success, and Gary spoke about all his success. Yeah, so great stuff, Gary.
You're welcome.
So Katie's saying, where do you work from with your self-advocacy work for Learning Disability England?
I work from home in the east coast of Kent, not far from Margate.
Margate. Where's Margate?
So somebody's asked, whereabouts is Margate?
It's a seaside town on the coast of Kent. It's on the east coast.
Another question was, what's been your favourite campaign that you've been a part of?
Oh gosh, there's been quite a few in my time, but I suppose the big demonstration in the middle of Trafalgar Square, Tony Benn on one side, Red Ken Livingston on the other.
Wow, that's really interesting.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Nice to be interviewed by a really lovely team. There. Bye. Bye.
Remember to comment, like, share on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can find us by searching for the People First podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.